part.
All right, so when I'll just keep the fin in, so it might not be. It's just going to be kind of shoulder down, probably.
Yeah,
okay.
Because I'm very finicky about this.
I can tell.
Okay, well here we have, if you want to pan down to the table there, and you'll see several makes and models of fins that we have today for scuba diving. And we'll start off at this side of the table. Let's go back. We're going to go back 30-40 years to some of the original split fins. And we have the force fin here. This is one of their prototypes, actually. It's not the final edition, but they still work really great to this day. And not only that, they're easy to pack in a bag. You can just take them like this and put them in a bada bing, bada bang, and you're ready to go in a travel bag. So, which is kind of a nice feature. And with the strap on, they really go on easy and off easy. Next, we have a more modern day split fins. The Apollos came out, I think in the 90s or so. They were really big, late 90s anyway. And they're split fin varieties, you can see. And I've switched the straps on it so you can pull them off and on easily. They're really great for new divers that don't want to worry about getting their legs tired and muscle cramps and stuff like that. But what they have a propensity to do in heavy currents is they sort of feel like mush sometimes on your feet. So as long as you're doing recreational and play stuff, they're not a bad fin at all. Now coming into the more high-tech version of the split or fins is instead of just being straight, you can see that this one's on an angle. So when you're kicking underwater like this, you're already ready to kick, as opposed to the other fins having to kick in the right spot to get them in initially set up so you can kick through the water. Okay, I almost blew that, but you know, that's the way it goes. And then over here we have some variations of fins. Now these are an excellent little travel fin, and they're called the Mantas. They were out. I haven't seen them for a while. Sometimes there's a lot of different new varieties of fins, but they all don't make it to the stores. You see them at Dima and other places, big market convention centers, but they don't make them into the business, maybe because the materials cost too much to make, or to sell at retail would be too expensive, I don't know, or they just couldn't get the backing from the bank. Who knows what the reason is. Another one that I came across years ago were these little fins, walking Omegas. And now these Omega fins, you just put your boot in there and you just start walking like that. When you get to the water, you just jump in the water, and the minute you start to kick, which I can't do because I got fins all over the place, the minute you kick, it turns into a full flipper. And then right before you get out of the water, you can just kick it with your foot, and it'll pop right back up into this, so you can walk through the rocks to get out of the water. The only thing I found with this is that after several years in the desert, the diving in desert areas, I should say, where it gets about 120 degrees or whatever, I found the bottoms may or may not split a little, but a little piece of duct tape, or Gorilla Tape as it were, fixes that problem right away. And so I could use them for another 10, 20 years. And coming to the, if you remember the old jet fins, these are the more modern equivalent of those old jet fins. And what's changed, instead of being really heavy things and non-flexible, modern day ones are, they're not too heavy, they're not too light, and so they're perfectly balanced underwater. And they've got a little give to them. And you can, what's nice about these, you can frog kick. You don't have to worry about getting the silt in the environment when you're going on a tugboat or some kind of a wreck around. And so they work really well that way. Plus, they have these bungee cords that you can pull on and put them in your feet. And on and off makes it really easy. So, and not only that, when the currents get heavy and tough, these things can keep on going, and they don't ever feel like mush on your feet. They just have a lot of power, and it doesn't take much to move them. Now, as you can see, they are quite big. And so the problem therein lies is they're not a good traveling fin. I mean, everything I said is great about them at home. I wouldn't want to put them in my suitcase because it feels like half the suitcase is these fins. But you might want another model, and for that reason. Now, what I like about these fins right here is they're small, they're easy to pack into a bag, compact, either way you want, less than the space of one of these fins. But in addition to that, you don't even have to have booties on. All you need is something with a rubber sole and maybe a nylon to go around your foot, and these will fit right over, so you could be wearing something light and cushy, or you could be barefoot. The only reason why you'd want to have a little booty or a slight little undersole inside these fins is because when you're coming up a ladder on a dive boat, and if it's a metal ladder, then you want to be able to climb up the steps and not hurt the bottom of your arches. Okay, so in summary, these are just some are better than for some applications, while others are better for other applications. And do I need more? Yeah, probably.
You know, it might be good as you're going through to name the fins. Like, I think you can name them all.
I tried not to.
Oh, okay.
Well, I could. Coming down the line, well, we'll just go on. I got Tusa here, Slipstream by OMS. The Omega fins are own manufacturers. The Manta fins, which I mentioned, Delphin fins. And then right here we have Tusa, I believe. And the labeling came off on those. Tusa, it used to be Tabata USA 40, 50 years ago. And then these are Apollos, which are kind of similar to the Force Fins brand, were the original Force Fins by Bob Evans in California. Okay. So I'll just splice that on the end, or maybe I'll just talk to you about it.